Oh, hello. Welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about the Warhammer World Open Day 2023. So not a massive kill team focus, really, but I hope this is a really useful review for some people, especially as I can shed some light on what exactly the store anniversary swag is going to be for this year. So, an overview of what the event is, for those who don't know. So every year, Games Workshop stores have a store anniversary. And the Warhammer World store anniversary is a bit bigger, obviously, because it's the HQ store. So it ended up being free. It was originally £12.50 for the tickets, and then they decided that they were going to refund the tickets. We went, so myself, Mrs. T.I., Helen, and my adult infant daughter, Penny, she's 5 months old. We went down there, we day tripped, so we drove down for about 9:30. Doors opened at 10 o'clock. We went around for about 3 hours, which was really good, and then Penny had had enough, so then we came home. But we got to see everything we wanted to see and do everything we wanted to do. So, in terms of what activities there were to do, there was the option to sit and build the miniature of the month, which is this fellow here, as you've seen on the Warhammer website. We just collected some miniatures of the month to take home because I'd rather, especially with Penny there, I didn't want to sit and build a model. Could have painted and taken away a Space Marine or a Stormcast, the usual paint and take models that they have in the Games Workshop stores for new hobbyists. You can sit and paint and take. There were demo games for basically every system, including some weird systems like Cursed City, and there were some fun like Games Day style games like Gargant Football, Speed Freaks, and so on. There was a couple of exhibits from licensed products, so there was a digital card game. I forgot the name of it now. These things, like digital card games, are so super unappealing to me these days, because I know how big they can be in terms of time sinks. And the Warhammer Fantasy RPG guys, Cubicle 7, were there with a load of stuff. I used to really love pen and paper RPGs. I've not played a pen and paper RPG in about 8 years. I honestly miss it, but yeah, so they were there with a lot of that stuff. There's a lot of books out now for their various systems. And then if you did a bunch of the activities that were free, you could get stamps on a card. And if you filled up your card with all 5 stamps, so like you built something, you painted something, you went and played the video game, and I think if you went around the museum as well, you could get stamps, and then the stamps entitled you to £5 off a starter set. So they ran a similar scheme last year. Basically, it's not a very good discount because it's £5 off, but only on quite expensive products. And their starter sets, they're the one thing, to touch to the last video I did, they're the one thing that Games Workshop like reliably has in stock everywhere. So they're the one thing you can easily get from discounters that do a percentage discount. So really not worth bothering with, even if you had a particular starter set you wanted, because you can get a better price, Element Games or whatever you prefer. If it was just a £5 voucher, then yeah, you could get a couple of free paints, and it would definitely be worth doing. But like them giving away £5, but only against a giant thing, is obviously not as much of money of them giving away than them just giving away a £5 voucher. So we didn't pursue that. We didn't bother with that. We kind of knew we wouldn't want to do all the little painting activities with Penny and so. So limited edition minis and books. So this was a kind of a surprise. I'm going to go through some of these limited edition miniatures. So they had the Commissar and the new Chaos fella. I've forgotten his name. So these are the event exclusive miniatures. So these were here at the open day. These are going to be at Fest. They'll be at Adepticon. These are the event miniatures, right? Separately to those, you've got the 2 dwarves. These are the anniversary miniatures. So they're going to be at all the little local store anniversaries available for you to order. And then what was a surprise was they had all of this stuff. These are all previous year's anniversary or event models that were just available. And they had a lot. Like, there's a big pile here. This was just one of the piles. And they were constantly topping up these piles, man. So they got Ripper Jackson, Sergeant Jurgen, Necron dude, a Stormcast dude, the newish Primaris champion, right? One of the guys from the New Age of Sigmar Orcs thing, and the really cool Inquisitor guy. So I picked up the new Commissar and Ripper Jackson because it was kind of a model I missed. I don't really like Cast Chance, but I quite like the couple of new limited edition Cast Chance I did, so I picked her. I don't know what I'll use her for, but it's one of these things where if I have this model in my box and if I don't end up wanting to use it for a project, for like a kill team proxy or something like that down the line, if I decide to sell that in a year's time, I am going to make like I didn't buy it to scalp. I only bought one. Like there was literally a guy in front of me in the queue who was buying two, the giant Games Workshop carrier bags. He had two giant Games Workshop carrier bags of these miniatures. Now these are about 21 quid each. I estimate you spent probably well over £1,000 on these. But then if you look on eBay, now, you'll find the people that were at Warhammer World and they'll sell these £21 models for easily 50 quid each. Right. Especially these ones here. This is the first opportunity. For these two, it's literally the first opportunity you've had to buy them. For these two, like I think a couple of stores had their anniversaries, but we're in March, so we got the January stores and the February stores are in already. So it's a big opportunity there. And then some of these, there is value there. And Games Workshop guys could see that that's what people were doing. They didn't care. And honestly, why would they care? Because this is Warhammer World. They literally make this stuff in the basement. They were bringing it out by the pallet load and stacking those tables high, and people were devouring it. So I picked up two miniatures, the Commissar and Ripper Jackson, like I said. Picked up a couple of things for people on my Discord that I need to get posted. It's going to get posted off on Monday. So if you're in the Discord and for next year, if I can and I'm at an event like this and there's a thing and you really want it, I'm quite happy to be a secret shopper for people. That's not a problem. So that's fine. They also had some limited edition books. So they had a copy of the 2021 event anthology last night at the Resplendent, which I kind of just picked up on a impulse because I quite like Carver's Cane and it had Carver's Cane on the cover. I didn't pick up Archmage because I don't like High Elves, but it does say Sandy Mitchell on the front, so I'm going to wait to see what other stories, because it's Archmage and other stories, see what else is in there. Might pick this book up when my local store has its anniversary, right? So I get a second bite of the cherry on that regard. I don't know what to feel like. It's really interesting to me that apart from the top four here, a lot of these other models are things that people assumed they'd bought for FOMO purposes earlier. They were assumed were done. I think Games Workshop bring them back. I think it's great, right? I think it's great, and it's a bit of a thumb in the eye to the people who are trying to sell these things on eBay for quite a lot of money. If Games Workshop dumps a load more out at a cheap price, that can only bring the secondary market prices down, which is a good thing. But yeah, if you wanted these things, and I think there were even more, like, I think they had a second Necron guy, they had like Summer or other the Crooked, and there was definitely a second Orc guy knocking around as well. There was a lot of things that you could buy if you wanted all these limited edition models. But yeah, nothing really that appealed to me. Like I've got the Commissar and Ripper Jackson because I don't really play the Imperial Guard, but I quite like them. This guy does nothing for me. This Chaos Guy Dwarves do nothing for me. Already got this guy right somewhere. I think I've converted him slightly into a Black Templar. The Necrons, to me, I like Necrons well enough, but they all look super generic. Not a big fan of Stormcast. Really don't like these orky things. This was the one that I nearly picked up a few times, the Primaris Champion. The thing is, I play Black Templars, and I've already got the Empress Champion and the limited edition, like, Brayath's Revenge box, so I didn't really need another Primaris guy with a sword that was less Black Templary. And I mean, this is an awesome model. I've already got one of these. So yeah, but that was there. That was pretty cool. We weren't expecting to see certainly these bottom 7 show up out of the archives, right? There were some reveals. The reveals were really funny. I didn't realise until I read it on Warcom that there actually were any reveals. You've got more information on if you've read the Warcom articles that went up today about these things, you have more information than I have about these reveals. Because these were just in. So if you go to Warhammer World, if you go to the store, they've got a glass cabinet in the store where they typically show, and it's pretty cool, they typically show the heavy metal painted studio models of whatever thing is out for purchase that week, right? So you go in, and whatever's out for purchase that week will generally be on this shelf, and it will be the physical miniatures that were on the front of the box, which is really cool. It's a really cool Warhammer World thing that you only get at Warhammer World, but it is used basically to communicate to people that come straight into the store what's on sale today that they can buy. They just repurposed this cabinet, so they've got painted examples of a load of the limited edition miniatures that were on sale that day, and then on here you got the 2 event exclusives, because they're going to be slightly harder to get hold of, and then at the back you've got the 4 models that weren't on sale today that they revealed, and there are better pictures on Warcom. Basically, the main reason that I've put this up here is I know that some people on the Discord, when I first posted this, were particularly interested in the scale comparison to Farsight, because on Warcom they don't really show you a picture of him with anything much for scale, so he's not that huge, right? He's a little bit taller than the top of the Khorne Wizard's staff. I know it's not a wizard, but it is a wizard. Why is there a Khorne Wizard? Tzeentch now winning? Like, it's like the Space Wolves. Like, oh, we don't use the warp, we use runes. It's totally different. Like, shut up, Space Wolves. Like, there's a Khorne Wizard now. Same argument. Cosplay. There were so many cosplayers. So here's a rare picture. Mrs. T.I. and little baby Penny with the friendly Iron Warrior. Right? So we ran into... There were so many cosplayers. There were, like, a good... 5 or 6 Marine cosplayers, and there were 9 or 10 Imperial Guard cosplayers, and a couple of other things. There was a huge contingent of 40k cosplayers. I'm kind of adjacently, some of my very good friends do. When I was much younger, I used to go to anime conventions with some friends who were hyper into anime, and I was relatively into anime at the time, and quite a lot into drinking beer. And so they are in the cosplay scene, but for Japanese anime stuff. So the 40k cosplay scene is a weird fusion of a thing that I know a lot about, 40k, and a thing that I know kind of sort of sideways secondhand knowledge about. But these costumes are absolutely amazing. The fella in this Iron Warrior's costume was absolutely enamored with Penny, and he came over to talk to Penny, and he was going to, he didn't actually touch her, but he was going to pretend to stroke her chin with the power fist, and all the fingers on the power fist are articulated, and it was such a lovely scene, and I just wanted to capture it because it was such a lovely memory. Hopefully the chap doesn't mind that I've put him in a video, but he's got a helmet on, so his secret identity, if it is secret, it is safe from the world. But that was really cool, and that was just in the queue as well while waiting to go in, and that was a really touching moment, and it's great to see it's not my hobby. Cosplay, I don't, but the artistry and the craft that you put into those costumes, it's great to have the privilege of talking and watching and interacting with those guys, and I never quite know what to say to them. You're walking past, you're just sort of staring at them, and your brain what do I say? Oh, great job, man! They know. The guy's there in a 8 foot tall Marine costume. They know. It was just really cool to see all that. And they brought a huge stand as well. So there's a huge section in the open day, huge set of tables with loads of cosplay gear on that just. These extra guys had just brought and presumably just said to the not Warhammer World staff, can we just add value to your event, please, because we want to show off all our stuff. That was really cool. It was just really, really cool. Really, really cool. So talk about the free. Though that word free does not deserve to be there. So, as you will know, for a normal store anniversary, you can buy these 2 dwarves, and also you've got the thing where at £50 you get the pin badges, at £100 you get the pin badges plus the dice bag, at £150 you get all the above plus the gold dice, and then at £200 you get this pack of gaming accessories, which has only been shown off in this tiny, tiny photograph. So, one of the really nice things about attending the Warhammer World Anniversary event is that the Warhammer World Anniversary event contains a Forge World store. So, if you are like me and you have to have things to review them for your channel, at least that's the lie that I tell myself. You just have to have things because that's just the personality trait that you own. It's a lot easier to spend £200 usefully. I say usefully. more usefully. It's a lot easier to spend £200 in the Forge World store than it is to spend it in the local Games Workshop store when you already buy everything you want that's in Games Workshop plastic the week it comes out, right? So I picked up, and this was planned, and I had budgeted for this, and Helen picked up one as well, so I spent over £400 today, but shh. I picked up a super heavy tank for Horus Heresy, and Helen did the same. So Helen's got a Fellblade, and I've got the Falchion here. So that's going to be... I may not build this for like a year and a half, but that's going to be the last thing. Like, when we finish the Embers of Istvan campaign, I'm going to add this to my Emperor's Children army. If I ever escape my hobby rut, if I ever convince Helen to go back to painting stuff for the Embers of Istvan, if. But it's in the plan, and I figure... It was something, yes, we might not build it straight away, but it is something that I always wanted, and it means that we got all this extra swag, plus the retail coins for the standard retail coin promotion. There were 2 this month, so yeah, we're going to end up spending 120 to get both those coins anyway, because there was 2, and you spend 60 to get a coin, blah, 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 blah. So, picked up the tank from Forge World, got all the extra swag. To go through briefly the swag, the pin badges, if you like last year's pin badges, you like this year's pin badges. Like last year's were a Space Wolf and a Stormcast. This year you got a Imperial Fist and I think a I think that's supposed to be a squat. Like, it goes with the theme, I guess, right? I think the Imperial Fist works a lot better because the like the enamel has a lot of gold showing. The enameling has like the outline is in gold, and so in the Imperial Fist it's like, oh, gold and yellow, and it looks really good. And with the squat that's supposed to be blue, and there's all this extra kind of gold trim, it looks a bit weird. But personally, I'm not a massive fan of these. You know, it has ended up thrown in a box here, in a drawer, along with last year's pin badges that are in the same drawer. And if I can track them down, I've also got the Warhammer Plus ones that are from the same manufacturer, clearly, that were the Blood Angels from Warhammer Plus as well. But, you know, some people really like pin badges. The dice bag, I'm really fond of the dice bag. It's a really nice, like, leather effect dice bag. It's got the Warhammer logo on. It looks really smart. It's nice and big. Like, I can get my entire fist in that bag easily. Looks like it's going to hold dice. It's going to stand up to a lot of wear and tear. I love a good dice bag, and this is a good... I don't think it's real leather. I think it's leather effect, but genuinely a really lovely dice bag. The gold dice, if you remember the silver dice from last year, these are those, but they're gold. Instead of coming in a tin, and you get 2, you get 4, but no tin, which I think is an upgrade. So if you like that, and they're nice and heavy, so if you like dice, you know, the dice are the second best thing after the dice bag, which is the best thing. The accessory kit is a lot of cardboard. Let me just... So this is the accessory kit. And literally, you get 6 of these sheets. And enough of these sheets to make 6 objectives. There's a lot of... So, I've not played Age of Sigmar in about 1,000 years. Could somebody in the comments, please, who plays Age of Sigmar, explain to me why the objective markers for Age of Sigmar are the size of a personal pizza? Like, these things are massive, so I haven't even pushed them out the card and put them together. I will do that if I'm going to use them, but like, it's like a massive circle of cardboard. Like, you put these out on your board, you put 6 of these out on your board or whatever it is, and you're going to have no space for anything else. Like, that's going to be your board, be a sea of red. And then you've got these things that are little tracker dials for wounds, I guess, and you get 6 of those, and you get the little plastic split pin parts to put them together. And then you get these bits. Again, you get 6 sets like this. These are just little... Have you ever played against somebody who measures out the deployment zone, and then they put like lines of dice to like show where the deployment zone is, and then they start to deploy? Basically, these are little bits of cardboard, so you can do that without using lines of dice, if that's something that you want. So I'm basically not enamored with it. When people saw the videos, a lot of people thought, oh, these saw the original things from Warhammer World and the Warhammer community website. A lot of people were like, these are neoprene. These will be really cool. I really want them for 40k. Maybe they'll be, you know, they're just cardboard. Now, what other thing I want to talk about is the little tray here. So you get a little tray. It's got battle round, command points, victory points, and then army points. And I assume this is for like faith points for sisters and blood points for core. Like many armies have a mechanic, don't they, where they collect points and have a separate resource. So these little trays designed, it fits the special edition dice that you get. So I've got my 4 gold dice on there and my 2 silver dice from last year. So I don't have enough dice to use the entire tray. It's not useful for Kill Team because it doesn't track secondaries separately to your main victory point total. But this, even though it is cardboard, it's like 3 layers of cardboard. It's glued together for you. It's quite well made. It's quite robust, and it's got like a wrap around it, and it's got like a ceiling on the bottom. Like, this generally does feel like it would last. This piece, if you like the look of this. This is cool. This is quite nice. These are just, it's a bit disappointing that they're just cardboard. Now, people are going to say Games Workshop are being cheap. Can I just say, right, this is the part that perplexes me. Games Workshop make plastic things in their factories in Nottingham. This box, I will tell you, this comes in a black box. Like, have I got it to hand, or have I put it away in the spare? This comes in a box like this, right? This is heavy. This is heavy. And on the back here, made, you probably can't see that, but take my word for it, made in China. This has come on a boat, in a shipping container. Like, that is heavy, right? That will have cost quite a lot to ship over. That is a lot of cardboard components. There's probably more cardboard in there than in a copy of in a copy of Soul Shackle. Like, I don't mean to rerun the rant, but that is a heavy thing. And knowing what a little I know that I've heard from people, shipping containers and moving things from China to the UK and landing them is a large part of it's a lot of the cost. The Games Workshop actually occurs. So people are going to say they're cheaping out. I actually don't think they're cheaping out. I think it's an ill-judged free gift. It's an ill-judged free gift, not a cheap one. Will they come in as objective markers? If I was sitting down and working out with somebody the other day that I've played two games of 9th edition 40k, because 9th edition 40k was the COVID. Right, it came out like at the end of the first lockdown in the UK, and then I was, being really cautious, and then I got really ill, and then basically I wasn't living like a normal person until the start of summer 21, right? So at the start of summer 21, July, I got 2 games in, one against Zimbad, one against the mates up north, and then at the end of summer 21, Kill Team 21 dropped, the channel was launched, and it was a whole thing. So, and then I started playing Kill Team. So I've only actually played 2 games of 9th edition 40k. Assuming these are objective markers of the 9th edition 40k, I'm assuming they're also for 10th edition 40k. Because if 10th is coming this year, this promotion will run all through this year until next January when they launch the anniversary promotion for next year. So I'm assuming that the objective size isn't going to change. So potentially they are pretty useful. If you've not got anything else that you prefer, just like we do for it, it's really annoying to me that they haven't done these for Kill Team, because, Kill Team players know we want big round objective markers, but we got them for Sigmar and 40k. So that's something. Maybe these look really cool to you. I was just a little disappointed. I kind of suspected that they were cardboard, but the confirmation is just out there now, so that when your local store has its anniversary, you can make an informed decision as to whether you think this stuff is cool, and hopefully that is a useful, and I'm getting clicks and views out of it, so I'm not that salty about it, right? Hopefully that's useful to you. Let's have a fun slide. So I got a beer. I didn't have a beer there because I was knackered. I didn't want to have a beer before I drove back. But I picked up a bottle of beer to enjoy at home. I'm a big fan of stouts. So we talked about this before. Blitzer's Best is the stout that Games Workshop do. I say Games Workshop, it's Nottingham Brewery, which is an established old school traditional UK brewery in the UK. Nottingham Brewery produce a range of 4 beers. Talked about this last time. They produce a range of 4 beers exclusively for Games Workshop to sell in Warhammer World. So the stout that they do is called Blitzer's Best. So I went to the bar, ordered my dinner, my lunch, ordered some Cokes, and said, can I have a bottle of, and they're quite used to this request, can I have a bottle of Blitzer's Best with the cap on to take home? Yeah, no problem. And then the girl calls back to me and says, do you want normal or cherry? And I'm like, I had no idea that you did cherry Blitzer's Best. Well, I've got to give that a go for science. It's quite nice. The cherry taste is a little bit over the top. I quite like the old flavoured beers. I know that flavoured stouts are really popular at the moment, like salted caramel stouts and your peanut brittle stouts and all that, which is quite good. The cherry was a little over the top of my taste. I like a fruit beer. It was almost sharp and cherry-y, like a really nice fruit beer, but then with the kind of richness and darkness of a stout. It was a really interesting drink. I don't think I'm going to queue up to go back to Games Workshop to get more of them. But maybe I will try the original Blitzer's Best and take that home and add on this little fun beer review section at the end of the next Warhammer World, like whether it's Kill Team or whatever it is. I'll add that on at the end for you because it's a bit of fun. For us beer drinkers. Right, that's it. Final thoughts. Look, at the end of the day, I had a great day out with my family and made some memories, and I've got lots of really cute pictures of Penny looking at things in the Warhammer Museum, like, oh, what's this? Oh, what's this? I do think the free loot has gone downhill compared to last year. Last year, we got a travel mug. Like, I've used that travel mug every single day at work. The Warhammer travel mug, that's really cool. And we got a bag, and I've used that bag every time I go to a tournament for Kill Team. It's exactly the right size to carry all the Kill Team stuff that I need, the books, the dice, the templates, the Kill Team itself. Brilliant. This year, it's gone downhill a little bit, right? I also think it would have been nice if there had been some GW creatives there to talk a little bit about the stuff that they were revealing. So they did some reveals. They showed off Snickrot. They showed off Farsight. They showed off the new Slanesh guy and the new Khorne wizard. Right, it would have been nice if there was somebody there from the studio could have acquired a little bit of overtime to come in on a Saturday and chatted about those things. Like, that is the kind of thing we'd usually get. Like, years ago at an open day, that's the kind of thing they do. I guess they kind of got this new template for open days now where it's more the store anniversary model. So there was nobody, all the staff there were the retail staff, right? So there was nobody there to talk about the new stuff, which it just would have been nice. You've got far more detail on Warcom about those reveals than any attendee actually had. So you know more than me. Because you've had a chance to read through it all, and I've just driven from Colchester to Nottingham, gone around this for 3 hours, and then driven back and had a bacon sandwich, and then kind of put a PowerPoint together and contemplated how tired I am. So it is what it is. But the tickets were free, and that was weird as well, because they were originally £12.50, and then they became free. Presumably they weren't selling enough, and they wanted to fill their open day. But we shall see. We shall see. But it was good fun, and I certainly recommend the experience of going to the open day, as long as you for the door price of free, as long as your transport costs are not prohibitive. It was certainly like, if you're going to go to Warhammer World anyway and enjoy all the standard things, like, it was free, and on that day museum entry was free, and museum entry is usually about like £8-9 or something. Like, how much do you... I've got a ticket stub from the Warhammer World Museum around here somewhere. Like, does this have a price on it? No. So this is from like the one time I paid to go around the exhibition. Normally you have to buy a ticket like that. On all event days, the exhibition was free, so definitely worth going on an open day if you were gonna go to Warhammer World just to enjoy all its things. It is a day out in Warhammer World with a load of extras, which is great. You have to think about your travel costs and petrol and stuff, and then whether or not the free gifts are worth buying the things for the thresholds. Again, it's the stuff that you already wanted. If you go to Warhammer World, is it stuff from Forge World? It's all subjective, lads. Only you can make that judgment. Right, I've hopefully given you a little bit of extra information to help you make those judgments for next year. and it is great, to be fair, to see people there. So there's that as well. All right, that about wraps this up. I'm aiming to do another video tomorrow. I'm not feeling like depressed or sad or anything, but I'm still just feeling really, really, really tired. So I want to do the big review of Arbites and my impressions of their rules. That video takes a lot of work, and I will do it. And say what I'm about to say, views are not the be-all and end-all of this channel, because this channel is just something I do to give myself a bit of an outlet more than anything else. But it is funny that the rant about Games Workshop video has done twice. Last time I looked, twice the views of the Hand of the Archon review video, and it was about an eighth of the effort, because I threw some slides together and shouted in the microphone for 40 minutes. Have a great evening, folks, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye, bye, bye.